Hello guys, and welcome to the series of web concepts, and in today's video we are going to discuss about the port numbers and their types. So let's begin. Port numbers are the 2-byte unsigned integers that are used by the transport layer protocols like UDP or TCP. If we view the headers of transport layer protocols, then we will see that the source port and destination port will be defined there. These port numbers plays a vital role when it comes to data flow from source application to the destination application and vice versa. These port numbers are divided into three categories. The first one is the default or well-known ports. The second one is the registered port, and the third one is the dynamic ports. Within this, let's first discuss about the well-known ports. Well-known ports are defined by the ICANN, and these ports are used by the common services that runs on the internet. For example, web, which is one of the common service that runs on the internet, port number 80 defined for it. Similarly, for the mail transfer service, port number 25 is defined, or for the file transfer service, the port number 21 is defined. So if any system present in the internet wants to provide any of these services, then it needs to use the default port defined for that service. Now one very common question comes into mind is that is it mandatory to provide these services on the defined ports? For instance, suppose I am the owner of a system present in the internet, but instead of using the port 80 for the web service, I want to use the port 83, or let's say port 87. So can I as an individual do that? And the answer is that yes. If you want to provide your service apart from the default ports, then you can do that. But there will be an issue that you might not want to. To understand the issue, let's take an example. Consider you have a device on the internet that is providing web service on port number 80 at this moment. What generally happens, various applications and programs are already aware of the default ports. For instance, whenever you open your browser, you write their application layer protocol, for example HTTP, and then the destination. But you never provide their port number additionally. Why? Because your web browser will automatically set the destination port as 80, since web is a common internet service and the default port set for it is 80. Now consider as an individual, I am providing the web service on any other port except its default port, that is 80. Let's say I am providing the service on port number 87. So in that particular case, user present in the source will also have to explicitly define the port number. So it will write HTTP, which is the application layer protocol used by the web service. Then it will define the target URL, and after that it will also have to define the protocol, that is in this case is 87. So you see, it's important that you run your service on the common port so that it becomes easier for the source applications or programs to identify your service. If you do not run on the default port, then user will have to explicitly define the port number also, and in most of the cases the user is not aware of the destination port to be used. So in that case, the user will not be able to interact with your service. This is also the significance of the default ports, that applications are already aware that for the well-known service which port to use. So well-known ports are defined for the well-known services present in the internet. But what about the not well-known ports, or the services that are owned by some specific companies or vendors? So for these not well-known services, the companies can register their ports, and while providing those services on the internet, those ports will be used. Since these ports are explicitly registered to the ICANN by the companies, these ports are also known as the register port. Now let's discuss about the dynamic ports with some example. Consider you want to use the web service running on a system present in internet. From your source, your destination port will be set to 80 by default, but you also need a source port. This source port is dynamically given to you by the operating system. For instance, if you open up your browser and type the destination URL, then your browser will ask for a port from the operating system, which operating system will provide, and then in the request that source port will be defined. Now when the destination will send data back to the source, it will set its destination ports as the source port defined by the source, so that the data can be sent back to that particular application that actually asks the data. Similarly, if you want to interact with any other service, for example file transfer service, then also you need a source port. So whenever you are in the internet and interacting with the other service hosted by any other system, then you need to have a source port and you need to define the destination port. Now, apart from these, the dynamic ports are also widely used during the network address translation. We will discuss network address translation in some other video. So that's all for today guys. I hope you like the video. If you have any doubt, please comment it down. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you in the next video.